He grew up in the cages of South London, a boy with lightning feet, a burning ambition, and a Nigerian name. Today Eberechi Eze wears the 3 lions. But for years the Super Eagles believed he could, and should, fly for Nigeria. This is the story of how a sequence of missed chances, cancelled friendlies, cautious conversations, and slow federation moves turned a potential Super Eagle into an England international. This is the story of how Nigeria's mistake gave England Eberechi Eze. Born in 1998 in Greenwich to Nigerian parents, Eberechi Eze learned football in the hustling, unpredictable streets of South London. He had the flair and imagination, nicknamed Blaze by kids in the cage, and like many in England's talent factories he passed through Arsenal, Fulham, Reading and Millwall youth systems before finding a breakthrough at Queen's Park Rangers and then Crystal Palace. His technique, courage on the ball, and ability to change games in a flash brought scouts, pundits, and, eventually, national team interest. Nigeria has long cast a wide net over the diaspora, players born and raised abroad who still carry Nigerian blood. Eze's name first surfaced on the Super Eagles' radar in 2017, when reports say he was among a group of British-born players invited to train with Nigeria in London ahead of a friendly. That approach should have been the start of a clear pathway to cap him for the senior team, but fate and bureaucracy interfered. The friendly that would have been Eze's first opportunity to play, and to begin the formal process of switching international allegiance, was cancelled. The match was meant to be against Burkina Faso and was part of a London training camp. Because the game never went ahead, Eze never got that first cap that would have anchored him to Nigeria. That cancellation was not just an isolated event. Catalogues of friendly postponements, paperwork delays, and shifting priorities at the NFF meant promising ties with British-born stars were often fragile. In Eze's case, the cancelled match kept the door open, and England could still close it. Eze has been frank about the dilemma, someone with Nigerian roots, raised in England, balancing affection for both countries. For diaspora players, the choice is rarely simply patriotic, it's also pragmatic. England offers exposure, higher competitive stakes, and long-term career benefits. Nigeria offers passion, immediate idol status, and ancestral connection. Eze publicly delayed a decision. He said he wouldn't make a rash decision and that he felt the pressure from many voices. At times the NFF tried to rush things the wrong way. Headlines reported meetings between Eze and officials and claims that he might be tempted to switch if Nigeria made it to a major tournament. Eze's answers were cautious. He wanted the right moment and the right assurances. Here's the painful truth: modern international recruitment is partly about relationships and partly about logistics. For a player like Eze, a fast, decisive cap can close options. Nigeria did make gestures, training invites, phone calls, and even public appeals, but some of these moves came too late or were undermined by cancelled fixtures and a lack of follow-through. Where other federations moved quickly, offering clear pathways and cap opportunities, Nigeria's approach relied too much on hope, not paperwork. And then England stepped in. Eze went from youth call-ups, England under-20 and under-21, and gradually both the Football Association and England managers began to see him as a player for their future. The FA's system, robust, proactive and offering well-defined routes to senior caps, became the safer bet. In 2019 and 2020, Nigeria's officials made visible efforts. Meetings were reported between former NFF boss Amaju Pinnick and the young Eze, and manager Gernot Rohr publicly stated he contacted Eze weekly and hoped to convince him. But public statements could not substitute for fast, decisive action. In interviews, Eze explained the calculus plainly: England represented the highest levels and the chance to compete regularly at the top of world football. That kind of pitch, career progression, coaching, higher-level tournaments, is hard to turn down. By May 2023, Eze received his first senior England call-up. For Nigeria, the moment had passed. Once a player starts to be involved consistently in England's youth system and then earns a senior cap, the practical and emotional ties to the Three Lions deepen. Eze himself later said he had no regrets choosing England, and that he viewed it as the highest level of the game. Many Nigerian fans felt the sting. Many pundits asked, could the NFF have done more? Could a cancelled match in 2017 have been the single twist that changed Eze's national allegiance forever? For Nigeria, the cost of hesitation is not hypothetical. Stars have been lost before. Eze was simply one of those high-profile examples. Eberechi Eze's career continues to climb. He is an England international and a Premier League star. Nigeria Super Eagles still search for ways to strengthen their reach into the diaspora. The NFF and the Nigerian footballing community must confront the truth that talent alone isn't enough. Timing, logistics, and decisive leadership are equally vital. What was lost is not only a name on a roster. It is a story of identity, belonging, and the modern world's tug-of-war over talent. Eberechi Eze is a boy who made choices the way any ambitious professional would. For Nigeria, the painful reality is that opportunity, sometimes, is built on speed, clarity, and the courage to act before the window closes. And when that window closes, another country will gladly open its doors. That doesn't mean Nigeria should abandon its search for homegrown stars, far from it. The heartbeat of any national team must come from players raised in its own academies and leagues. But in today's global game, embracing exceptional talent from the diaspora is just as important. These players bring not only skill but also new ideas, professionalism, and links to some of the best coaching environments in the world. Look at Morocco, Senegal, and Algeria. They've blended local heroes with players born abroad, creating sides that can challenge the very best. Morocco's historic World Cup run in 2022 leaned heavily on stars raised in Europe, while Senegal's AFCON triumph mixed home-trained warriors with diaspora talent from England, France, and Italy. Algeria's success, including lifting the 2019 AFCON trophy, was powered by a generation born in France who proudly chose the green shirt. Nigeria has a proud tradition of producing legends from its soil, but the game has changed. To stay among Africa's elite, the Super Eagles need to value both roots and reach, nurture the boys kicking balls on dusty Lagos streets while also moving decisively when a gifted youngster with Nigerian blood begins to shine in London, Paris, or Germany. Only then will stories like Eberechi Eze's become lessons of the past rather than warnings for the future. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to Football Frenzy for more untold stories from the world of football, the wins, the betrayals, and the moments that shaped the game. Tell us in the comments, do you blame Nigeria for losing Eze, or do you think the decision was always his alone?